Hello, my name is David Bauer, and this is my video presentation for EDCI 538. I'm actually going to be completing my video presentation in two different parts, and I created just a real short Google Drive presentation to hopefully kind of outline what that's going to look like. I chose Google Drive presentations because that's what I did my professional development on, so I thought, why not use it a little bit more and become even that much more familiar with it. Part one of my video presentation will be an explanation of the training module that I created. It will walk you through the different things that the teachers who took part in my presentation had to do. I'll look at what my intended use was for the training module, and then also how it would fit into a larger PD experience. And I'm going to explain that more on the next slide. Obviously, we're only seeing a very small snippet of what the original intent was for this, this training. Part two then will be kind of a summary of my findings from the implementation, findings that I got as teachers were going through their evaluation process, and then also the changes that I feel I would needed to make to the module just based on implementation and based on feedback that I get from other students in the class. The training that I had in mind as I was creating this, the bigger picture that we would see with professional development would be in three stages. First would be an introduction to the NETS for Students and teacher standards. I just feel like, especially in my district, I don't know how other districts are, but in my district there is not a lot of understanding or even knowledge of the NETS standards. And so just kind of giving a broad overview and understanding of what that would look like, that is what the teachers would start with before they move on to the Google presentation software. Step two would be an introduction to and a training on Google presentations. It would be how to create presentations, how to share them, how to edit different things in a presentation, and just the way that you can use Google presentations to present and give information. The last part then would be kind of a discussion series. I have it pictured as kind of like discussion forums where teachers can weigh in. It would also be online, and it would focus mainly on how can we now use Google presentations in the classroom. Is it just to give students information? Is it for students also to give us information? And hopefully through those discussions and that brainstorming, teachers would be able to generate a lot of different ideas of ways that they can use presentations in their classroom. For this training module, for the one that I created and what you're going to be seeing in this video, I focused on part two. It's an introduction and a training on how to use Google presentations. Not necessarily what it would be used for, but how to use the software, how the software functions, and how to navigate and troubleshoot the software. To deliver my professional development, the main mode that I used was through course sites. This is the home page of the course site that I created. To start the professional development, I sent a special invitation to the three teachers who agreed to go through this training module for me. I sent in the email detailed how they could log in, how they could create their username and password, and then also detailed kind of how they would go through these tasks. I put the tasks right on the home page so that hopefully they would see them, they are in order. I don't know if anybody else had this problem, but the first few tasks that I created, 1, 2, and 3, they showed up in the order that I made them. Number 1 first, number 2, number 3. Now, one day later I came back and created a new task, and suddenly number 4, instead of going in the order that I had created it, jumped up to the top. And now I did number 5 went above 4, and then 6 above 5. The only way I could find to rectify this was to change the due dates. And so as the instructors were going through, or as the teachers who agreed to were going through their professional development, I just told them, you know, the due dates here are wrong. I just had to use these due dates so that the assignments would stay in the correct order. I reached out to course sites help for this to their help staff, their helps and support staff. None of them could have still been able to give me an answer as to why that was or why they didn't stay in the order that I want them to. Nobody either could tell me a manual way to change them. I messed around with changing the titles, thought maybe that I could get them in alphabetical. I tried it with numbers. Nothing worked other than changing the due dates. So if anybody has an answer to that or knows why that was, I would love if you could enlighten me because I couldn't figure it out. So moving on to the different things that they had to create or that they had to complete, they had both a pre and a post professional development survey. And so if they clicked on the surveys tab, told them exactly what to do, it told them when to do it. This one says complete before you do the professional development. This one says take after to help gauge your learning and your opinions of the professional development. And then also if we go back to the home page, when they clicked on the tab for pre-PD survey, they'll see that it tells them to go to the content or the surveys folder. So they go to the surveys, it tells them exactly what to do. When they are taking the pre-assessment, they'll click on this and the task says go to the content folder. So when they go to the content menu or the content folder, there are a couple of different things that they do here. The pre-assessment, if they view that, and I'll show you it from the edit window, the pre-assessment has some different things that they are supposed to do. Title the presentation, share it to me, create slides, so on and so forth. And I started these set of directions by telling them, if you have never used Google Presentations, if you don't know where to begin, just send me an email. Because there's no sense in someone spending 30 minutes trying to stumble through Google Presentations. That's the goal. That's what I want them to learn about. And so with the 3 teachers that I selected, I actually didn't know, but none of them had any experience with Google Drive. So all 3 of them sent me an email. They said, I really have no idea what I'm doing. Here's my email. And then they continued on with the rest of the content. I did have them watch an EduCanon video. I found kind of a overview of Google Presentations that Google had created, and so I had them watch that. There were a couple of questions that they had to answer throughout. There was one spot where I stopped it to show them a little bit of information. If you are interested in viewing that, I also have the I sent them an email that tells them how to sign up. So they just had to go to EduCanon, sign up for an account, and then search for my name, Mr. Bauer, and that was the only video that I have on there right now. After that, there were a series of training videos that teachers had to watch. And so I listed each one so that they could kind of go through, check it off as they go. But basically the directions for all of them are the same. Watch the video. As you watch the video, create a practice presentation and just try to explore the software as they go through it. So if we skip over to my content folder, I created one folder with all the training videos in it. I chose to do a folder just so that it kept my content page short. You wouldn't have to scroll through anything. It all shows up on the first page. The training videos are numbered. Video 1 through all the way at the bottom goes down to video 7. And so the staff members who were taking this professional development watched the various videos I created. I created them with Screencast-O-Matic and just kind of walked them through the steps that they would take to create a Google Drive presentation. So all of the staff members shared their practice one with me, and then they created the next step after they had gone through the training videos. I'm sorry, I need to go to the home page. Was to take a post-professional development assessment. And so if they go into the content area and they open up the post-assessment, they actually found that it was exactly the same as the pre-assessment. I wanted to be basically comparing apples to apples. They were to name their assessment post-assessment. Everyone did. Everyone shared it to me. For the most part, all of the 3 teachers that that took the professional development, they were able to complete this. The good thing about Google Presentation is I can check the timestamp, and I saw that they were all able to complete their post-assessment in half an hour, so that was good. They did meet the expected goal that I had there. The last assignment, if you'll call it, or task that they had then was to create a to complete a post PD survey. I did get a lot of good feedback there. I found it to be valuable, and a couple of the questions that they asked I'll actually address in part 2 of the video. So this is where I'm going to end part 1 of the video. This kind of gives you an overview of my course site, and also kind of how this training was rolled out to teachers. Part 2 we'll talk more about the findings that I had from implementation and some of the changes that I plan to make if I ever do get the chance to implement this.